Jim Kimmel. I know you think I forgot about you, Jim, but that could not be further from the truth. Uncle KC could never forget about the trio of huge embarrassing failures who were bankrupting the once profitable business of late night television. I know it's been a while since we have talked about Jim Kimmel and his two besties, Jim Jr. and Steph Colbert. Well, KC, what about Seth Meyers? Who? Sean Squires? I damn sure can't forget about Sean. I'll be seeing him here in a couple of weeks after he finishes up my taxes. Sean might suck as a late night host. He might suck as a comedian, but he is an absolute wizard when it comes to finding tax breaks, which is probably why he is the lead accountant at Squires and Squires. But anyway, there's a reason that it's been a while since we have talked about Jim Kimmel, and the reason is there's really been no reason to talk about him. There's only so many times we can talk about his unhealthy obsession with the Trumper. There's only so many times we can analyze the severe symptoms of stage 4 OMB. Orange Man bad! This past Monday night, the symptoms were so bad, Jim was incessantly whining about the Trumper spending his weekend playing golf. Why is he so violent? Why does he keep hitting those innocent balls with that dangerous stick? Balls are meant to be caressed. There's only so many times we can discuss this ongoing, huge, embarrassing failure. Last month, Greg Gutfeld once again dominated late night television. Now keep in mind, Greg Gutfeld is airing on Fox News. The trio of huge embarrassing failures, they are being broadcast on free TV. Fox News is available in around 70 million homes. ABC is available in 125 million, which is damn close to every household in America. Yet for some reason, Greg Gutfeld continues to double the audience of Jim Kimmel. During the month of February, Greg Gutfeld averaged 3.7 million viewers, with 318,000 coming in the 18 to 49 demo. I know Jim's bestie Howie Stern likes to claim that he is the queen of all media. Ooga, ooga! Howie might be the queen, but Greg Gutfeld is the king. Unfortunately for Jim, his bromance with Howie, it doesn't seem to be helping him with normal people. Last month, Jim Kimmel averaged 1.8 million viewers with a pathetic 159,000 in the key demo. Jim's ratings were so bad, he was beaten by Jon Stu in The Daily Show on Comedy Central in the demo. He was beaten by The Tonight Show with Jim Jr. Hell, Jim was beaten by damn near everything in late night. The only host that couldn't beat Jim Kimmel was Sean Squires, mainly because the only thing Sean is proficient at beating is meat. Like I say all the time, the genre of late night television, it is not broken. John Oliver is thriving. Bill Maher is performing well. Greg Gutfeld has been dominating the genre for years now. Hell, just look at what happened with The Daily Show a failure. When Travis Noah was hosting this show, they were counting the audience by the dozens. Most people had forgotten that The Daily Show was still on the air. Jon Stewart returns last year. All of a sudden, The Daily Show is back over 1 million viewers. The media likes to claim that the format of late night is antiquated. The media likes to claim that late night is broken. Too much competition. Viewers want their content on demand. They don't want to stay up until 11:30 to watch a comedian attempt to make jokes. But like I have been telling you guys for years now, the problem in late night, it's not the format. The problem's not increased competition. The biggest problem in late night television is the host, with the number one problem being Jim Kimmel. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. This morning on the second channel, talked about the incompetence at the worldwide leader in woke, ESPN. Mina Kimes and her pretend friends at ESPN. They spent their day yesterday spreading a story of mythical racism. They accused the Trumper of racism because the Department of Defense, they removed Jackie Robinson from its website. The story was a misunderstanding and obviously had nothing to do with racism, which ESPN would have known if they employed actual journalists instead of pretend analysts like Mina Kimes. So if you haven't already, head over to the second channel and check it out. Over the last few weeks, there have been coordinated attacks against Elon Musk and Tesla. Casey, these are not coordinated attacks. These are random peaceful protests. It's ordinary citizens expressing their outrage over the changing weather. You know, I've been alive for 40 years. You know what the weather does every year in March? It changes. Changes again in June, changes again in September, December. Most of us call it seasons, but according to deacons at Woke United Methodist, it's man-made climate change. All kidding aside, the attacks against Elon Musk, they have nothing to do with climate change and everything to do with Doge. Woke welfare collectors, they are upset. They are outraged because Elon Musk is eliminating wasteful spending. The days of generations of families not working and relying on the federal government for survival, those days are over. The days of using food stamps to buy top shelf steak, those days are over. The Trump administration is reverting back to an old concept in the Bible. If you don't work, you don't eat. If a single mother is working but still struggling to survive, the government will provide assistance, and I'm fine with that. If a single mom is working 40 hours a week, making 40 grand a year, needs help with daycare or groceries, I have no problem with my tax dollars being used to help her out. I would much rather be helping her than some doofus in Sri Lanka who is struggling to choose a gender. But I do have a problem, and I don't think I'm alone in this. I do have a problem with people not working and receiving unlimited welfare. That is what Elon Musk is eliminating, along with much, much more. Now, if normal people were facing this problem, if normal people were losing thousands of dollars a month in subsidies, they would go out and get a job. Maybe they express their outrage on social media. Maybe they complain a little bit, but most of them would realize that complaining ain't paying the bills. So they would go out and find something that would generate revenue. But deacons at Woke United Methodist, they're choosing to respond differently. They are expressing their fake outrage by attacking Tesla dealerships across the country. Earlier this morning, I saw a video of this dude who looked like he has been well fed by the government for decades. He was clearly an advocate for body positivity, probably a big fan of the Lizzo. Keyword, big. He was also a big fan of the whoopee cushion on The View because he was spraying his boodle breeze on his hand and wiping it all over random Teslas that were on the street. How much money did he make by doing this? Probably none, unless he was being paid by the deacons to randomly protest. At least the whoopee cushion is making millions by spreading her boodle breeze. This dumbass, he was doing it for free. Tuesday night, Jim Kimmel was giving a monologue on his late night dump that no one under the age of 50 is watching. Jim's audience has gotten so small, it mainly consists of his family and Howie Stern and his whack pack. During his monologue, Jim attempted to make a joke about Elon Musk. Key word, attempted. Watch for yourself.
Our co-president, Elon Musk, sent a SpaceX vehicle to bring the astronauts back, and when they landed, he fired them immediately upon landing. Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so
Look, I'm not going to sit here and over dramatize this like a lot of people in conservative media are doing. I'm not going to sit here and say that Jim Kimmel is advocating or calling for more Tesla attacks. To be honest with you, I don't think that's what he was doing. I think Jim Kimmel was trying to make a funny. I think Jim Kimmel was trying to be humorous. He was pretending to be a comedian. Kind of like Mina Kimes pretends to be an NFL analyst. But just like Mina Kimes is not a real analyst, Jim Kimmel is not a real comedian. It would be one thing if the joke was funny. It wasn't. It would be one thing if the jokes made by Jim Kimmel were balanced. They're not. According to MRC, which is the Media Research Center, one of the sources that I rely on heavily here on the channel, the men and women at MRC, they do great work. I highly recommend them. But according to MRC, 98% of the jokes made by Jim Kimmel target Republicans. 98%. Now, keep in mind, we are coming off of 4 years of Johnny B. Biden. We are coming off of 4 years of cackling Cam Harris. Over the last 4 years, the jokes have literally written themselves. Hell, the jokes were living in the White House. Well, they were living in the White House part-time. Most of the time, John Biden was busy in his Delaware dungeon playing Dungeons and Dragons. But either way, during a time when the jokes wrote themselves, 98% of Jim Kimmel's jokes were aimed at Republicans. Is it any wonder why his late night dump is struggling? I would imagine that it's hard to draw an audience when you're alienating over half the country. Jim Kimmel is trying to appeal to the guy rubbing his boodle and wiping his doodle on Teslas. Jim Kimmel is trying to appeal to the dude who's protesting outside of the doctor's office because they refuse to provide him with abortion services. Why won't you take my money? I'm here to have an abortion. Sir, you're not pregnant and never will be. Honestly, I think Jim Kimmel has given up. Several months ago, he claimed that he was struggling to mentally prepare for the Trumper. He keeps teasing retirement. I think Jim Kimmel's tired of being a huge embarrassing failure. Now, luckily for Jim, there's a simple solution to this problem. You don't have to tease retirement. You don't have to announce your departure. All you got to do is leave. I hear Rose O'Donnell has plenty of room in her cottage over in Ireland. I promise we won't miss you here in America. But give me your thoughts on this. Jim Kimmel makes what he calls a joke about the attacks on Tesla. Some in conservative media are claiming that Jim Kimmel was advocating or calling for more attacks. Now, me personally, I don't think that's the case, but what about you? Was Jim being malicious? Was he advocating for more attacks? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys later.